Hello, this is Rachel. I'm going to be walking you through the first 6 steps of my pattern, Hot Stuff, which is a brioche crochet coffee cozy. To make this better visibility and to have this be a short video and not a super long one, instead of using fingering weight yarn like I did for my sample, this is the lighter color is called Stargazer and the bright pink color is called Hot Dam, and both are available at CyrilKnitters.com. They're a fingering weight yarn. Again, for visibility purposes, I'm going to use a worsted weight yarn and do a considerably smaller cozy just so that I can get through the techniques faster. Go ahead and do steps 1 and 2. So you would chain however many you want, chain 48. For the worsted weight yarn, I just did 20. And then you're going to half double crochet into each chain and join with the slip stitch. So go do that, pause the video, go do that, and then come back. In step 3, I just learned this wonderful alternative to turning chains, and that I wanted to share with you. For this alternative, you take your live loop, which is the loop that's on your hook, and you're going to pull it up a little bit, elongate it to about the height of a double crochet. And I had a question, like how do you make sure that you have the right height? There's a couple different ways. You can crochet a little swatch and check the height of the different stitches. You can use a ruler to measure, whatever works for you. I think that you're going to find that this just comes kind of naturally, and there's a lot of forgiveness, I guess, in that if your loop is a little tall or a little short, no one's going to be able to tell. It'll still work out okay. So I am going to bring up a loop to the height of a double crochet, and I'm going to make a front post double crochet around this first half double crochet that I've marked from row 2. If you are not familiar with post stitches, I have a short tutorial demonstrating those on this YouTube channel. All of the stitches in crochet, the single crochet, the half double crochet, the double crochet, and the treble crochet all have posts. And you can either create a front post like we're using here in this brioche pattern, or a back post, which hopefully later this year I am going to have a pattern and a class about cables, crocheting cables. And one of the most common ways to create cables in crochet is through front post stitches and back post stitches. And there is a lot of absolutely gorgeous cabling patterns that you can find on Ravelry. So go ahead and look that up if you get a chance. There are also a lot of patterns available for crochet brioche. Some are free, some you pay for, all of them absolutely worth it. I'm having a lot of fun with this new technique, and I'm really looking forward to working on several other projects. I do know how to knit, so I could do knitting brioche, but I was very excited to see that that kind of these new techniques had come out that allow you to crochet something that's very similar. Here I am at the end of my row. I repeated chain 2, front post double crochet, and I to the end, and I've gotten here and I have only one half double crochet remaining. I'm going to chain 2, skip it, and I'm going to slip stitch into the top of this first half double, or this first front post double crochet. Okay. Again, I strongly recommend, if you're not familiar with the post stitches, to use stitch markers, because like my good friend Annalise says, they are your friends. Okay, so now I'm on round 4 and I'm going to switch over to color B, which is, I'm going to use this white worsted weight superwash yarn. Okay, just going to attach that, and any way that you switch colors is fine. You're not going to be cutting these, so make sure you haven't cut color A. You're just going to leave it there to drape down. So instruction 4, switch to color B, bring up a loop to the height of a double crochet. Whoops. I want to make sure that you're, well, I like to attach my colors with a slip knot in the new color when I put it on the hook. Just want to make sure that if that's the method you use, that slip knot kind of stays there at the base. Okay, so I'm going to lengthen this to the height of a double crochet. Sorry. I'm going to front post double crochet around the post of the half double crochet from row 2 below. Okay? But to get there, I am going to, nope, sorry. There's my half double crochet. And again, don't worry about this loop being big. It's not going to matter. It just helps you get up to the right height so that your stitches are nice and even. Chain 2. And again, around that half double crochet from row 2. Chain 2, front post double crochet around the half double crochet from round 2. We'll get some more yarn here. There are several ways to create brioche crochet online. This just happened to be the one that works for me because I'm very familiar with post stitches. But please feel free, if this seems awkward to you or you're feeling frustrated, please do a search and just kind of look around and see if maybe one of these other styles would better suit your style of crochet. Oh, I also wanted to make a note that in the tips section of the pattern, you always want to make sure that these chain spaces, so I created a chain space with color A behind it, you always want to make sure that these chain spaces are behind your post stitches. They kind of fall back there naturally, but just in case, now you know to keep them back there. And here I am, oh, not quite. If you have any questions about my pattern, please feel free to find me on Ravelry. And again, this is the Hot Stuff Brioche Crochet Coffee Cozy. So if you just do a search for that, and then you'll be able to find my Stamp for Hobby profile on there. But just send me a message. I try to get back to those pretty quickly, but if I don't, just know that I got a little busy, but I promise that I will get back to you and I will answer your questions. So here we are at the end of the row, and it says repeat until the end of the row, chain 2, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the first front post double crochet of the same color. Okay, chain 2, there you go. Okay, step 5, you're going to put your B color to the side. You're going to pull up color A, bring the loop up to the height of a half double crochet, and I'm going to front post double crochet directly below, right there. Okay. Chain 2, goodness, what is that? Sorry, my tail got in there. Skip this front post double crochet and go around the same one. From here on out until we get to the very kind of the bind off part, your front post stitches will always be around the same color front post stitch below it. Sorry, the paper that I have below shifts every time I lift up my wrist, and it's scooching, and it makes me lose track of keeping my hands visible on the camera, so I apologize for that. When you're going around here, you also want to make sure that you are doing a front post double crochet around the front post double crochet of the previous round. And if you're unsure, again, please use stitch markers, and maybe in the last row mark them after you've made them. But if you're at this point and you haven't marked them, you kind of want to turn this to the side, and you just want to give these stitches like a little bit of a tug. Okay, just a little tug, and then it'll be a lot more obvious. So you've got this big loop here. This is your front post of the last round that you did. Okay, so that makes it easy. You can continue the pattern, which should be chain 2, and then front post double crochet around the last front post double crochet. To the end. Chain 2, slip stitch. Okay, so that has gotten you through, hi Santiago, this has gotten you through step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and then this is the last one I'm going to demonstrate, which will be step 6. Because from here on out, you're just going to repeat 5 and 6 until you get the desired height that you want. It took me 8 repeats, but you know, however tall you want your cozy. This could also be like a boot cuff. It could be the ribbing for like a sweater. It could even be the ribbing for a sock. So just repeat those rows until you get the height that you need. I'm going to go ahead and pull up, switch to color B, pull up to the height of a double crochet. I'm going to chain 2. Woo. And I'm going to front post double crochet around the first color B front post double crochet after the beginning of the round. So technically this is the beginning of the round, but it's not the color that I need. So you're going to chain 2, and front post double crochet around the first front post double crochet of the same color. Okay? Chain 2, around that front post double crochet. Chain 2, around that front post double crochet. Again, remember, stitch markers are your friend. So if you're struggling to find that front post, don't keep going. Take a break, step away. If you need to come back and try again, or you can mark your stitches when you're working the previous row, whatever works for you, so that this isn't frustrating, because crochet should be fun.